What's going on, Workforce? Brian here, and we're going to be doing a special episode 70 for community feedback. In this case, while we're not specifically highlighting your individual comments, we're going to be talking about the overall theme of comments and our content here at the channel, and hopefully it's a fun discussion. So I kind of labeling this kind of coffee chat, so feel free to grab a drink and let's buckle up. So I want to kind of talk about four major things, like the state of comments, our current content and thoughts on it, because people have got a wide range of that, and I want to kind of talk about that here. The third thing is our future content. Lots of exciting stuff is about to be rolling out, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it. And then finally, kind of the state of live streams as well. And so overall, to kind of start with the comments piece of it, YouTube has recently just rolled out a feature in which that we can do various filters on the comments section. It's really quite powerful. And I tweeted out, with great power comes great responsibility. Why is it really powerful? Well, right now, it gives me the ability to filter comments based off of if there's a question in it, which is very handy, if a user is subscribed or not subscribed, and if a user is a member or not a member. And one of the things that we really want to always do here is make sure that people do not feel like they have to support us financially to get a question answered. And so I want to sit down and kind of just have a real conversation with you guys about just that fact right now. We're going to try to be prioritizing, obviously, and we always have made an effort to respond to our comments. We feel like that's the best part about being YouTubers, is reading and engaging in the comments section. Comments section. So beyond that, like, one of the things with that tool is, and maybe some of you guys noticed just today, I was able to turn on channel members and then comments that I have not responded to, and I just started going down the list, because anybody obviously who's like helping us out and being able to empower us to make the content that everybody wants to make, and we'll talk more about that that content soon, just here after the comments piece. I want to make sure that I'm making the absolute most to get to those comments. That being all said, I think it's really important for me to share this right here so that anybody watching this might be a little confused. If for some reason you have a question and you're not like a member here on YouTube or whatever, be sure to DM us on Twitter. Be sure to DM like me on Discord if your question is not getting answered. We're here to help, and I don't want any kind of financial barrier to prevent that question from being answered, especially if it's answered respectfully. So we do always, and we've always had filters regarding just like people coming in and just like, word vomiting, just anger. So we don't see those. So that's kind of always the weird balance. We do try to go and get to those from time to time, but obviously our comments have, the volume of them has increased so dramatically. We're going to prioritize the ones that aren't like telling us to go jump off a cliff. So that all being said, we do try to also go do that, but I just wanted to kind of be real clear. If for some reason we're not getting to your comment, please reach out to us. The links to our Twitter, the links to our Discord are below. So be sure to do that. If for some reason you're just not getting the answer that you seek, that's one of the founding things about what it is to work the game. Now let's talk about content, because it relates to comments. We've always viewed ourselves as an educational channel. That's why we really like to spend time on guides. It's like why we really like to spend a lot of time on our discussion topics. We feel like there is an education piece to both of those things. Obviously, recently, there's been a lot of discussion videos I've been putting out because I just love doing that, and I'm going to continue to do that. We've been doing it this entire time, but I do need to do a better job at helping to communicate what the channel is up front, because a lot of people might come in through a guide and they might really enjoy the guide because it helps them out, and that nothing could make me happier than that. But then on the flip side of that relationship is then all of a sudden we're going to be talking about serious adult gaming discussions. And I tweeted out like we don't use mature language in the terms like people would think, like swear words and whatnot, but we use mature language. Like, we have always viewed ourselves as a channel that can talk about anything and everything, and we're going to continue to do so, fully under the knowing, the realization, under no delusions that people need to or will remain subscribed to us. We'll put out videos that we know we're going to lose subscribers on, and we feel that it's that important to make that video and to have that conversation. Not saying we're right, and I'm not saying we couldn't be better at how we communicate. And that's going to be always that process, that craft of how do we communicate complex ideas in a respectful way. So for anybody who does always stick around with us, we really appreciate you. But we do see people who, we've known for a while decide to go and move on because we put out a lot of content. And we're also not going to stop doing that. Like, we really like making videos. We feel like there's a lot that can be said, and we hope that we can make the world a better place because of it. But again, not that we're always going to hit the mark, not that we're always going to live up to our own goals and aspirations. We practice humanity imperfectly, in this regards. But that being said, know that I've heard you guys. A lot of people really liked my recent discussion videos, but also at the same time, a lot of people have not. And I respect everybody's opinion on it. And I know sometimes when I kind of put out hey, people really didn't like this, I do get the opposite side coming and saying no, I really enjoy it. Please keep making it. And so we will. And the real piece of this, the whole point for this kind of section of the community feedback comes into play where I've been working on an 8-part series. We are 4 parts into it, where it starts with Truth and Trust, talks about kind of how gamers are blamed based off of race for shootings, talks about everybody's wrong with thoughts, and then we just did everybody's wrong with monetization, and we've got 4 more planned in that series. Now there's a loose tying theme that they kind of generated it all, and I'm really excited about it, but I know I've gone crazy. Let's just be real. At the end of the day, once the 8th video rolls out, and it's if you haven't caught on to the theme that's connecting all of them, you will at some point. It's either going to be video 5 or video 6, where I think someone's going to be I see what he's doing, and he's nuts. And I get it. I don't blame anybody, but it's a passion project. One of the things I think it was in Everybody's Wrong About Thoughts is at the end of it, I talk about a couple different things you do in terms of content. You make content, that's searchable. You make content for the community that's around you. And then you also make content for yourself. And this is kind of I think, a very important overall arcing discussion that can hopefully help, just educate and set the stage and set a tone for discussions that I think are detailed and deep. I don't want to be superficial. That's what Truth and Trust is all about. I don't want to sit here and just be like every other YouTube channel that leans into the emotional side of it. Not that those channels are doing it wrong. It's no judgment on whoever decides to make content, but I want to try to take it to a different level. And I know that means that people are not going to want to go along with the journey. And I respect that, and I love you guys. And if that's the way you feel, maybe you'll come back and check us out in the future. But, you got to do what you got to do. The goal of this is not to create anxiety or frustration in your personal life. And I think if I do my job right, and that's why they're all scripted. I feel like if I put the words right and they have the right pacing and they communicate clearly an idea. Again, this is also my perspective. I can't control how people receive the content, nor would I want to, because that's a part of the art, in my opinion. But beyond that, I get it. You've been heard. So what I want to do with the feedback that people have gotten, is it's not canceling the series. It's not canceling the discussion. I believe somebody I think a good feedback was this isn't work to discuss. This is work to game. They want more conversation about the games that we're enjoying. And there's going to be some Dragon Quest stuff rolling out today, baby. But anyway, beyond just that, they're right. And so what I want to do is try to pace the discussions, I guess, in a little bit more apart so that they're a little bit easier to digest. So it's not okay, here's this issue, and here's this issue, and here's this issue. Why I bring all that up is because I haven't really been promoting it, but we have I created my own personal channel, been posting to that as well. And I'm thinking about more of kind of my opinion pieces, hot takes, kind of the emotional reaction to it, moving it over there. So we're not overwhelming anybody just on everything that comes up, because there's going to be times where there's just so much to talk about, and we all want to be engaged in the conversation that's going around gaming. But it can be a little too much, and we do know that we already post a lot here on the channel, and it becomes a weird relationship. Anyway, so let's shift this a little bit into future content, just because this is what's about to unfold for everybody. So if it is overwhelming, I get it. Feel free to unsubscribe and come back and check us out in a couple of months and see if we're kind of more your pace there, because we are getting into the gaming season. January is a good time, a good reflective time, because it's everything kind of calms down before it kicks back up with with February, and obviously with The Last of Us Part 2. That's going to be really big for some people. Now, okay, future plans. Like I said, Ginger Prime, go check it out. Link is in the description under network channels if you're interested in checking out that channel. The reason is that there's just going to be too much to talk about here, so I want to be able to move some of that there for a little bit. It doesn't mean you're not going to get it here on Work to Game. It just means that we're going to kind of shift more focus into like really what the stuff that we feel like is the channel's about. Guides, news, the podcast, and things of that nature. So just really kind of wrapping ourselves around that. And also reviews, something we're testing out as well. I'm looking at my notes because I was like, I want to make sure I hit every kind of bullet point. Along that lines, so we're talking about guides. I'm going to be rolling out some Dragon Quest guides because I think everybody should play that series, and buy it, please, because that would help support just my interest in that series. Solely selfish on my part. But we've got Destiny 2 Shadowkeep coming out. We're going to be putting out guides. More guides on Destiny. If you don't like Destiny, just don't watch those videos. If you like Destiny, I hope you enjoy those videos. That's the whole point. I've been a long-time fan of that. I think that's great. I think the fact that they're embracing the MMORPG is important. We also are still working, obviously, on our controller guides and more guides for Final Fantasy XIV. This isn't a full-time job. This is something that we get to do because of kind of the careers that we've chosen or been, fortunate enough to be able to come into. So I can sit down and make a video like this. I can sit down and make a guide. I can go back to work, vice versa. It all kind of weaves in, and it thankfully works out real well with that. But we can't play like all the games, and we can't, like level up everything right now, in one specific game. Nor I think is the game, especially with 14, designed for everybody to continuously play it 100% of the time. We want to cover other games, and we've always felt this channel is a MMORPG channel or an RPG channel at its core. We love RPGs. Those are the games that we like to see and play. So I'm going to kind of shift more of a focus on that. I was working on like a Gears of War, 5 guide. I ended up posting up something over on Ginger Prime, and maybe that's where I'm going to post more of that style of content there. So if you're interested in that, that'll be there. I feel Destiny 2 is a really good fit for Work to Game because it's something that's really integral into that. And so I'm going to post it over here, but I'm always interested in your feedback as well. We also have Stadia that's coming out in November. If everybody hasn't caught on yet, I'm a big believer in cloud gaming just because having gone hands-on, seeing how it works for me. Not saying it has to work for everybody, but then also looking at it overall as a global market, it's nuts, right? So something we covered, and then why with the future console wars about to befall us, with PlayStation 4 selling 90 million units, that's incredible. That's an amazing victory. But it's also 2019, and there's 2.5 billion gamers in the world, and that's about to bump up to 3 billion gamers in the world. And we should have seen console sales increasing as the number of gamers increase, but we don't overall see that. Now, that's just console gamers. There's obviously PC gamers. There's been a huge PC gamer explosion, so that's going to play all into that. Anyway, long story short, I'm going to be testing out Stadia. Figured at that time, obviously, I'll test out Destiny 2 in it. I'll test out Borderlands 3 possibly if I can, make time. Depends how good Destiny 2 has its hooks in me. And so we'll be testing it out. I think the biggest weakness of Stadia is the fact that the Final Fantasy XIV doesn't exist on it. I think that there's a lot of problems with Stadia and how it's being marketed and how it's designed, especially for a North American market. But then it kind of dawns on me that I don't think it's really made for us. I think they're going to let us test it. I think they're going to kind of figure it out. And as long as Google doesn't get bored with it, I think I'll be fine. But Google gets bored of a lot of things. So everybody's wary to be worried about Stadia. And then, like we talked about Final Fantasy XIV, we talked about Stadia and RPGs, Destiny 2. Oh, and just kind of a final piece about future content. Like when I said that I'm going to kind of space it out, especially kind of that 8-part series. So I've got 2 more in the works that I'm still trying to finish up right now. The next one should be like why I wish I wasn't a fan of Xbox. I'm probably going to run that next week. And then we'll try to keep those kind of the more, like, I guess, heavy-hitting discussion topics to at least once a week. So it's not like, the sky isn't falling. I feel like those are very positive videos. But again, perception is reality. If somebody perceives it to be negative, for them it is going to be negative. And hopefully we can always have that conversation. And that's really where community feedback comes in play as a way of clarifying, as a way to continue the conversation and things like that. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about live streams. As obviously you guys have not seen us live for a while. We did the live letter, and we're going to keep doing that stuff here on YouTube. My plan today is to stream some Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest XI just dropped. 1, 2, and 3 just dropped. but it's already at this time getting late in the morning. I had a lot of work stuff come up this morning. I got some work stuff this afternoon. The reason why we're not doing live, we kind of did an update in my kind of special thank you video, but if you missed that video and you're still here watching this video, thank you very much, you rock. I want to say that I can no longer stream at night. When I stream, it's awesome and it's fun, and there's a level of energy that I get out of it, but it impacts my sleep. And so when I would go to bed at night after streaming, it would take me a long time for my body to kind of calm down in a way that was actually restful. And what I've been doing is I've been hanging out with my wife in the evenings, and we've been playing games or watching shows. And honestly, it's improved our relationship. And our relationship wasn't in trouble or anything, but she's just really pregnant and she just needs some help. And it's hard. It's, like, oh my gosh, like I can't imagine, I can't sympathize enough, right? So we've shifted our nights. And so the goal is that I can try to get some streams during the day. But we've kind of been doing a couple different things with the business, and money isn't, what it was at the moment. We've got a couple contracts that we're looking to line up here in October and November, and maybe that will be able to give me a little bit more time to stream and kind of do a little coding either earlier in the morning or kind of like, after the kids go to bed, where I was streaming, so I can kind of take a break and play a game, and hang out with you guys. So keep that in mind. We're also seeing that it has seemed to have a slight impact on like how people get notified on YouTube. So we're very cautiously testing out if we should stream to YouTube or if we shouldn't stream to YouTube. We've seen a lot of people kind of make a secondary channel where they're kind of streaming to. And that, maybe we have a work to play channel, again, network channels below, where we've discussed like maybe we'll stream to there and to Mixer. Because I've been just kind of going live on Mixer, because if it isn't Final Fantasy XIV, like people, and nobody has to show up for my streams. So I don't want anybody to feel like bad, but I know that if I stream Final Fantasy, typically people want to hang out and play and talk about it, because that's what, it's one of the biggest pieces of our community here. Like, I love the game. I'm going to keep playing it. I'm going to keep talking about it. Like, I've been playing it for 10 years or 9 years, coming up to 10 years. And it's nuts. But I've been just addicted to Gears, guys. Like, I can't tell you enough just how much I love that experience. And I've been playing it pretty much every night, like downstairs. And I've been loving it. Like, I just hit level 99. Like, it's insane. Like, it is this game that it's gotten its hooks in me, and I'm happy with it. But I do know that, like, putting that up on YouTube, I think however it does it, like, I don't want to sit here and just overwhelm you guys with stuff that you just aren't interested in. And that is going to be a balance, because we've always been a multi-gaming channel. But we do recognize that we cover, 14 extensively, because that's something we're passionate about. Like, I can't help that. But I can't help, like, and that's kind of, again, why I feel like I'm going to put the Gears stuff probably over on Ginger Prime. Maybe any of the more, like, non-specific RPG stuff over there. And if there is a crossover, if there is an interest that you guys have on it, let me know. Like, if you guys go check that channel out, and if you like the content I'm putting up over there, like, maybe there's a good balance. Maybe that's the right balance to have. I don't know. And some people even recommended that we put, like, our discussion videos, like, on its own channel. And I completely agree. I just don't think we're at the size where that kind of makes sense, because, like, we've created our podcast highlights. I think we're almost to 400 subscribers, but there's a lot of work that goes into these videos, and I'm not saying I do it for the money, because I work for the money, but the money ends up that the ads kind of generate help justify taking that time off work. Same thing with the live stream. They take time. They're fun. I don't do them for the money, but when I'm looking at my budget and my wife says we need to figure out a way to bring in an extra like $500, that I have to look at the numbers and go with that. So either I work on a guide or I work on a contract, and right now contracts pay more. That's just the nature of it, and hopefully you can respect that. Like, I would have loved to have Red Mage and Ninja and all those jobs knocked out, but at the end of the day, I have to provide for the family. And that's kind of why it comes back full circle to the comments. So for the people who are members here, like, we really thank you. I mean, y'all are the reason why Machinist Guide's out right now. Y'all are the reason why, Red Mage is where it's at, 74, I think. I'm able to make progress on those because I'm able to take time on those because you guys support us. And that's why we had created that $1 kind of thing. So anyway, nobody needs to do so, but we do thank you, and we're going to keep thanking you. And if you guys have any questions, leave us in the comments below. Be sure to hit subscribe. Be sure to hit those things, because essentially I'm going to look at members, then I'm going to look at subscribers, and then I'm going to look at non-subscribers. And again, if I do not get to your question, if you have a question and I just don't see it because I'm just kind of working down the list, be sure to hit us up on DM. Be sure to hit us up on Discord. Those are available for you, and we are not charging for that, because I don't want this to be a pay to have access process. I want people who want to do that, and who want to help empower us to kind of bring out these things much faster than we currently do. That's where that kind of falls in, and that's kind of where this concludes. This is the state of work to game. Yeah, I think, it's not about my ideas just because I'm one of the faces here. One of the key things with Chris and I is that we bring two different voices to it. We agree, and there's a lot of things we don't agree on. And we want that to be a part of what it means to be a part of the workforce. We've always had, and if I've never stated it, or if you haven't heard it before, it comes down to building the anti-echo chamber, which is a job in and of itself and a balance in and of itself, because we can always lean into echo chamber, right? It's always, the echo chamber exists because it's easy. Because it's easy to build, because it's like, yeah, we all agree about this. Yep. That's how it works, and social media is very keen at that. That's why I think we do come off and rub people the wrong way with our content, because it's shocking sometimes, and people think it's shocking to be shocking when it's not. It's actually shocking to engage a wide group of individuals in a complex issue, and it would be much easier if we were just angry gamers who went out to Reddit to figure out what people are angry about, and then just post on that. We could be the biggest YouTubers in the world if we wanted to be, but we don't. We want to be different. And sure, we would love to grow, and we hope that you subscribe, but you have no obligation to. We don't expect you to, but we hope that we can engage in these great conversations with you. And for those of you who have, hopefully that rings true. Hopefully this is a video that could be summarized as, yeah, duh, like I know that, Brian. But for those of you who have come in for whatever reason, we welcome you. We thank we hope that we hope that you're here. You do not owe us anything. You do not owe us a view on any video. Watch the content that you want to watch. Don't watch the content you don't want to watch. But we hope to hear from you in the comments, because honestly, from day one, that's been the thing that we feel like we're doing right. Like, that's the thing that we feel, like the number of comments, like the likes and dislikes. All right, that's fun. We make jokes about it, and people get all like, and maybe I need to be clearer about that. I just have to figure it out. So essentially at the end, to summarize all of it, thank you guys for watching this video. But also, I'm going to see if I can't do a better job at communicating kind of a comment policy in videos. I haven't figured out how to say it, like, because I don't want to sit here and make a video like it's 3 minutes long of like, hey, this is an opinion. Hey, here's how we manage our comments. Hey, here's how we do this. And now here's the content of the video, because I'm sure we're going to, watch, like, people are going to be like, what the heck is this? I want to know about, X. But we'll try to figure that out. Maybe we'll put it at the top comment. I don't know. If you got ideas, let me know. We'll go from there. Guys, this has been episode 70 of Community Feedback. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the love. Thanks for being here and being a part of the workforce. I'll see you soon, because I got to go work on some Dragon Quest guides, and hopefully I get a stream today. That's the goal. We'll see. Bye, guys.